to provide a non-threatening learning environment, place where you'll feel welcome and respect your individuality and your privacy. For example, let's say you took a biology test. None of our tutors is going to say, "Hey, did you see what this person made on the biology test?" That is not going to happen. We also always respect diversity for individuality, and we want to help you do your best. So what subjects are tutoring students coming in for? And one thing also I want to say is we do offer tutoring for over 50 courses. Not everything in tech, but we try to get all the basics in. Now this is in the year 2019, and you see math was the big one. 1,633 visits, appointments and visits, same thing. Chemistry was next, biology, computer science. So let me ask you this, and if you could do this in your chat function, I'm going to ask you if how many of you hate math? If you hate math, feel free to in the chat, or actually, if you're unmuted, you can just tell me whether or not you hate math. You don't have to. When I ask questions, you don't ever have to answer them, but just curious, just curious. So how many of you? Okay, I heard a yes.
Math is a no-go.
Okay, well, I'm not a math person either, so I understand. It was not easy to me, but one thing I can guarantee you is our math tutors, they're not going to act superior or say, "You don't get college algebra, what's wrong with you?" Not at all. That will never happen. Second question I wanted to ask is, now I usually get a lot for how many hate math. How many of you hate English composition? Or just hate English?
English comp.
Yeah. Okay. That's usually kind of comes in a second. Although you don't see it in our appointments, we do offer tutoring for developmental and foundational comp 1, comp 2, and almost all of our tutors, and we'll have about 25, are able to tutor comp and math, the basic math. So we can basically help you there. I wanted to tell you some just overall logistics. The Tutoring Center this fall will be open from Sunday through Thursday from 4 to 8 p.m. Tutoring will take place in Dock Ryan 153 unless we do during the semester have to go to an all online instruction mode. If that happens, all tutoring will be online. That's actually what we did in the last half of the spring. We went to a completely online format, but this fall, planning to begin on campus, face-to-face tutoring. And in addition, you do have to, or we ask you to make an appointment for tutoring. You can't actually do it being tutored. So the instructions will be on our page. And to get to our page, if you go to the Arkansas Tech main page, the Tech A to Z, click on Team, click on Tutoring Services, and we will have the instructions for how to make an appointment. We'll also have a phone number, so if instructions don't make sense or you have a question about it, we'll help you with that too. We'll also get out handouts to tell you how that works. But usually, even if you're walk-in, we can normally take you. A couple other things. We've been talking about one-on-one tutoring. That's primarily what we offer in terms of tutoring. But we do also offer small study groups. That can be really helpful for some students. If there are 3 or more students interested in having a small study group for a specific course, I go ahead and try to arrange that. For example, we had a small study group in the spring on pre-calculus. So found a tutor who had taken pre-calculus, made an A, and you would meet, they met regularly, they met Mondays at 6 p.m. But I did want you to know that option is available. If you're wondering if we have a study group, we will post that in the fall. But if there's one you'd like to get started, if you let me know if we find at least 3 students interested in doing that, we can go ahead and get that done for you. Get that underway. And there is extra English help. Just wanted to let you know about this. There's what's called the English Writing Lab. Now, it is in a separate building in Witherspoon 365. It's run by the Department of English, but it's an excellent resource. Actually been to Texas, 1987. It's staffed by English graduate assistants. They all have their BA in English already. They are open normally from Monday through Friday from 1 to 5 p.m. Now, they don't offer evening tutoring, but that's where the Dr. Bryan Tutoring Center can come in. Again, we're Sunday through Thursday, 4 to 8, and almost all of our tutors can tutor any of the English common classes. The Department of English, and I did want to let you know this too, also offers an online writing lab. Now, it's not live, but what you do, let's say you have an essay due in Comp 1. Go ahead and submit your essay. One of our graduate assistants will critique it, send it back to you, and that's basically how that works. So we basically looked at peer tutoring, one-on-one, and that's the predominant mode, but also small study group. So I want to switch gears a little bit. I want to look at the 3 top reasons new students fail college. Now, of course, all students do not fail in college. I'm not trying to imply that, but I bet you've heard what I'm about to say. College is different than high school, and probably most of you are just out of high school. So I did want to share you the 3 things that unfortunately bring some students down, new students. One of them is inadequate study skills. If you're comfortable telling me how many of you never studied in high school? Okay. A lot of students don't. That's normal to a big extent. Like I said, I know you've heard this, but that won't be true in college. You will be expected to do homework, read textbook chapters, study for tests, all kinds of stuff outside the classroom. And you'll be expected to develop techniques for how to do that successfully. Related to that is frequent absenteeism. Now, when you get to college, especially if you're living on campus, your parents aren't there to say you have to get up, or so you can sleep really late, you can stay up really late with friends, that kind of thing. And that can lead to, well, I stayed up till 4 a.m. I'm not going to my 8 o'clock. But research does show if students who do go to every class, especially their first year, make better grades than students who miss class. Don't want to miss class. Third one is related to the first 2, and that's faulty time management. And again, if you're just coming out of high school, probably your mom or dad got you up in the morning. You went to high school, everything was regimented classes. Maybe you had an extracurricular activity like dance, sports, or maybe just hung out with friends after school was over. But you basically had a schedule. Well, now it's all up to you once you get to college. You have to come up with your own schedule of doing things, and it is very easy to procrastinate. I'm sure none of you have ever procrastinated, but I know I have. And so these are 3 things that you want to watch for. Otherwise, this is what might happen to you. You might become not a pretty picture. You don't want to be a Susie Fresh face. So I'm going to show you what you can do, academic coaching to rescue. Now, academic coach, and I'll explain this because it makes it a little technical, is a customized accountability approach to help you meet your academic goals. Really, all that means is it's a partner with you. They will partner with you to help you succeed. And now, you don't just have to have it your freshman year, but sometimes it's really good your freshman year to have some support, especially when college is new to you. An academic coach is a faculty or staff volunteer. And one thing they will do is meet regularly with you and help you come up with an action plan for success. More specifically, let's say you set an academic goal of in college algebra to make at least a C. Then they will help teach you strategies to make that happen. Of course, one of them is to go to every class and come up with a good time management schedule. They will also hold you accountable. And this way, they're a little like an athletic coach. Let's say, and we just said one of your goals is to make at least a C in college algebra. Let's say by midterm, the middle of the semester, you have a D in college algebra. Then, and I'm academic coach, so I would ask the student, look, there's something going on, is something preventing you from whatever the issue may be, missing class, not training homework, etc. Maybe not getting tutoring. Also, your academic coach will teach you useful college success skills. I'd said about inadequate study skills because a lot of students don't have to study in high school. Your academic coach can teach you a lot of shortcuts, and I did not know some of these methods of study skills until I got in college and have been in college a few years, but your academic coach can help you with that. And these include things like how to study, effectively reading textbook chapters, so you are going to have to read textbook chapters. I know that's not a favorite activity of most college students. Note taking, that's something you will want to do. If you did do it in high school, you will want to do it in your college classes. Also, that's preparation. Like, and I'll just give you a couple that are, for example, effective textbook reading. It's best never to read over 20, 25 minutes a textbook. Read 20, 25 minutes, take a break for 5 or 10 minutes, do something totally different. Play with the dog, go get a snack out of the refrigerator, walk around the house, or whatever. Then come back, and basically you don't want to read a textbook chapter for more than 25 minutes at a time. That's also true when you're studying, for example, for a test. You want to take a break every 25 minutes. The reason for that, research shows that, let's take two students. One of them studied for 3 hours straight. One of them took a break every half hour. The one that takes a break every half hour actually is going to make a better grade. And that's just one of many things like I said. I didn't know. One of them I won't go over with you now, but there really is an effective way to read textbook chapters. It's not completely painful. It makes it a little less unfun for you. And also your academic coach cheers you on. Of course, that is a lot like an athletic coach. They partner with you. Instead of a sense of, well, you do this, they'll be, well, let's do this. Let's tackle it. Let's go with this. Having an academic coach, totally voluntary. You don't have to have one. If you're interested, you can contact me at the beginning of the fall, and we'll see about getting assigned to one. The last thing I wanted to look at are academic workshops. And these are specific areas that I will be doing workshops for throughout the fall semester. For example, I have one on test taking, preparation, time management, again, that's the biggie, and goal achievement. How do you achieve a goal? It really is a process that makes your achievement of a goal more likely. One thing I want to do, I want to show you a portion of my test taking workshop. Just to kind of give you an example, we're going to look at 5 tips that I give on taking a true-false test. And after I give you these 5 tips, I'm going to have 5 true-false questions and ask you whether you think they're true or false. Well, let's look at the 5 tips. One of them, you always have a 50-50 chance. Not really good, though, because 50 is failing, but it's kind of important. There is a tendency on true-false tests for more of the answers to be true than false. For example, most teachers find it easier to write a completely true statement than a completely false statement. What does that mean practically? Let's say you have 20 true-false questions. If you've answered 16 of them false, it's probably going to go back because probably the majority are actually true. Now, if you know what the answer is, don't worry. But if you're kind of guessing, you want to go with true instead.
Right.
And another thing, watch for double negative statements. What I mean, I remember getting these on test thinking, well, a statement like corpses tend to be not unintelligent. And I remember as a college student thinking, I don't even know what that means. How do I know if that's true or false? if you have something like this, mentally cross out the negatives. In this case, fun and not, and nor, you get rid of that, those kind of things, and then read the statement. When I get rid of the negatives, it reads, tortoises tend to be intelligent, and they do. So the question is true. But that's another thing to look for. Sometimes teachers will try to trick you with that a little bit. The
Mm.
next two tips are the most important for true-false tests. And this is especially handy if you have no idea whether the statement is true or false. Words such as always, only, and never generally indicate it is a false statement because they're not allowing for any exceptions. And there usually are exceptions to the rule. I'll give you an example here. Hurricanes always ravage the East Coast. Well, they usually do, but they don't always. So that's false. Tip number 5 is related to tip number 4. Words such as frequently, few, sometimes, often tend to be true. That's because they are leaving room for an exception. Let me give you an example. Hurricanes often ravage the East. That is true. Um, so you know that that's true. Now I want to show you 5 true-false questions. We're going to apply, especially these last 2 tips. And you can tell me which is true and false. And again, remember if it's never, always, only, that kind of thing, probably false. If it allows for exceptions of any kind, probably true. Let's look at the first one. A student who doesn't study for a test will always fail the test. How many of you think that is true?
True or false, guys? Throw it in the chat.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay.
Caleb respond. Oh, Kendall. Oh, Montana. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, it's false because it says always. And usually if a student doesn't study for a test, they're not going to do well, but it doesn't mean that they're necessarily always going to fail the test. Look at number 2. Students who study well for tests frequently make good grades. How many of you would say that is true? Okay, looks like we're, and it is. It is. And even if you didn't know, if common sense didn't kind of lead you there, frequently. Well, again, it's not saying always, it's not saying never, but it's offering exceptions. That's important. Let's look at our next one. There are a few deer in the world that have fangs. True or false? What do you think? I love to throw this one in here. It is true.
Oh.
And if you didn't know that, again, the trick is you. I mean, if I'm saying all deer, or not even saying most deer, but saying a few deer, I'm actually going to show you a picture of them here in just a couple minutes. But it's true. It's a true statement. 2 more. If you're on time for a flight at a busy airport, you are never asked to take a later flight. True or false? And that one we find, if you've ever flown much, or even if you hadn't flown that much, I hadn't flown a lot, but that's not, that is not necessarily going to happen. Let's look at the last one. Some rural ponds contain microorganisms that can eat.
Yes.
Brain. It is true.
This is true.
I don't know how many Animal Planet had this show on called Monsters Inside Us. One of the episodes, a teenager had in New England. She'd gone swimming in a rural pond, and she did get a brain-eating amoeba went into her ear.
Yes, this happens in Louisiana all the time.
Does it really? Oh gosh.
Yes, where I'm
That's a
from.
good point. It can happen. It's not just one specific area of the country. I remember 20 years ago reading about that. I thought, well, I'm not swimming in any rural ponds. That's just not going to happen.
Yeah, watch out.
Yeah.
It's also happened here and in Disney World.
This happened in Disney World?
Well, Disney had they had it was like a water park island, but it turns out
Yes.
they also had brain eating amoeba there. So they've had to close it, and it's abandoned now.
Oh wait, that's
That
awesome.
makes sense.
Veronica looks blown away.
Oh man.
That scares me because I totally went to a Disney water park.
I've never been to Disney, and now I don't think I ever will.
Not the water parks, at least.
Veronica,
The water
no.
parks.
Well, yeah, I don't blame you. Like I said, as soon as I even found out the word things like that, it was like
It was just that they were
But you
in
said
bad
this-
areas. It wasn't necessarily something they could control. They were just, it was built in a bad area. So
yeah. Oh wait. But I told you I was going to show you a picture of deer, not deers, with fangs. And this is not I didn't Photoshop. This is real. It's been on CNN, National Geographic, others, called the Kashmir musk deer. It's in northeastern Afghanistan, very rare. In fact, at one point I thought it was extinct. And you'll notice those vampire fangs. Siberian musk deer, Siberian, still got fangs, kind of like Bambi is a blood drinker. Kind of weird, but it is true. So we're kind of coming to the close of what I've got. Do any of you have any questions about tutoring or academic coaching or academic workshops?
I will say I was trying to look up the because I know for a fact that I want a academic what are they called? Coach, cheerleader. Sure. That.
It's not going to be on the tutoring page right now because it's summer.
Okay.
So don't worry. And I'm glad you said that. Yeah, right.
Because I was like, I tried to log in and it wouldn't let me. It said that there was an error, and I was like, retry.
Yeah. Well, the reason, if you go to our tutoring center services page right now, there's not any summer tutoring. There's not any summer academic coaching, so it's not going to take it. But it will be a fall. And also, it's pretty easy to find me. I'm in the tutoring center. I have my office in Dot 153, and you can just let me know. No problem. And we can get signed up with But I'm glad you brought that up about tutoring services right now, since we're not having summer tutoring. There's not a schedule up. Usually there is, in fact. They will show courses that we do tutor. And like I said, we tutor over 50 courses. All of the math basics, the English basics, chemistry 1 and 2, biology, physics. We try to get all the basics in there. And a lot of general ed courses like psychology, sociology, etc. Any other questions?
I know, Kristen, you just said, is anyone interested in being a tutor? Not a tutor, but do you have to be like a teacher to, I just finished teaching English at an elementary school. So I would love to I love helping people write papers. So if anybody needs help writing papers, is there a way to offer, maybe not like tutor them because I'm not amazing and certified or anything like that, but I would also love to help.
Yeah, and you don't have to be. The certified thing, I mean, that's something that we would do. That's what I do with all new tutors. So we train you. And I don't want that to sound like, oh my God, it's pretty common sense. It's not that bad. If you're interested in tutoring, there should be on the tutoring services page somewhere that says you want to be a peer tutor. If you click on it, there's a little application. Just fill that out. If you don't find that, and one thing I should have put here is an email address, and I didn't. I apologize for that. But let me give you my email address. It is J as in joy, J B as in boy, J B O G U E. So J B O G U E at ATU.edu.
Yeah.
And I should have had that up there on the PowerPoint, forgot to do that. But if you'd like to tutor, you can apply. No problem.
Sorry, Mike. I just wanted to say I was a tutor in college too. So Kindle, you don't have to be a mate. Like, obviously, you have to have certain GPA, but like, don't think you have to be professor level. But it helps too in perfecting your own like mastery of whatever subject it is. Because I tutored Spanish, and so like, it's a good learning experience. It's a good learning experience for you as well, and then like you make money as well. But yes, something if you're interested in. Okay, with Mr. Mike.
Awesome.
And absolutely, no, like Kristen said, you don't have to, nobody expects you to be a professor or anything like that, but you obviously have helped people, you have desire to do that. And there are a few criteria, Kristen just mentioned. You have to have a 3.0 GPA overall. And generally, we only hire you if you're a sophomore or above. Not always, but normally. But that's not like that's carved in stone. And we do want you to have had an A in whatever course you're. So we normally like you to have already taken the class. But like I said, that's not carved in stone either. So it's negotiable. So if you're interested, just go ahead and apply. And in fact, I'll give Kristen your email address and I'll just send you the application. And you can just go ahead and apply if you'd like to do that.
See, Caleb. Sorry, Caleb, did you have a question about that regarding that?
No, not about that. I was just wondering, like, does a tutor cost money? And if so, how much are we talking?
Good question. No, it is free. So no, and I'm glad you said that. No, it doesn't cost anything. And as I said, it's Sunday through Thursday from 4 to 8. We kind of do have that as a lot. We will be offering online tutoring, and as I said earlier, if tech goes to all online again, all of our tutoring will go online. But even face-to-face tutoring will begin with in the fall. We're going to try to have some online tutoring. The reason I'm saying that is so if you couldn't make it to Sunday through Thursday from 4 to 8 p.m., we're going to try to have a little bit of online tutoring, make it a little more flexible. I hope that answers the question. No, it is absolutely free.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, I feel like this is a really silly question, but I haven't asked it in like any of the little Zooms that I've been in. School starts August 17th, right?
I think August 19th.
Yeah,
Okay.
I checked on the calendar.
It starts on a Wednesday. I know that.
Okay, it's probably August 19th because I was like, I have no clue. And it wasn't on the calendar. And I was like, I'm just flying by the seat of my pants. School starts whenever.
I'm pretty sure.
I was wondering.
In fact,
I was going to say because we start on. I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Marquise.
Because we start on a Wednesday, do we follow? Okay. Because we start on a Wednesday, do we follow the Monday, like normal schedule?
Okay, you're cutting out.
Or do we start? Because on our schedule it has Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Or am I cutting out?
Yeah, no, I think I know what you're
Okay,
asking because classes
I'm
start.
going to turn off my video. Hopefully that'll help. Okay.
I think he's way lagged behind us.
On Wednesday, and because they start on Wednesday, yeah, I'm going to type it.
Okay, well, I think I know what you're saying. I think so. Classes start on a Wednesday. That's because of the MLK holiday and orientation. That's the weekend before. So I think what he's asking is that will your class schedule resume as normal the next week? And yes, it will. So if you have Monday, Wednesday, Friday classes, of course, you'll have class the next Monday after classes start. Same thing with Tuesday, Thursday. Is that what you were asking?
Wait. Hold on. I'm gonna type it just
That sounds good.
because we start on Wednesday.
Yes, we do.
So do we go to class like as it says Wednesday on our schedule or Monday on the schedule?
as Wednesday, but like your Monday, Wednesday, Friday schedule is like the same because you go to class 3 times a week if you have that schedule. And then if you have Tuesday, Thursday classes, you go to those twice a week. And so, yeah, it's just the same time every single day.
Thank you.
You're welcome. That was a struggle for a little bit. Yeah.
My computer does that a lot.
We feel it. It's okay. Thank you for that question.
That's a good question. Yeah, and that can be confusing. I understand that. Any other questions? And of course, I gave you my email. If you do think of anything, feel free to email me, and you know, I'll do my best to answer you. But I wish you a good rest of the week. That's a great rest of the week. Of course, a great semester ahead. There are a lot of resources at Tech other than the Tutoring Center. You probably heard about some of them, but the student services, the library, professors have office hours. That's time they set aside to meet the student. And I'm gonna stop my share. And if there's no more questions, I know you're going to be disappointed, but we're finishing early. Now I can go all the way to 3, but I think. But thank you for your time, your participation, and I wish you the very best. And stay safe. And thank you, Kristen.
Right. Yes. Let me say a few things before we leave. And if y'all have already been in the other sessions, you'll be like, yes, this announcement again. But remember, check your emails for itinerary links. Check your spam folders. We're doing the, someone already left. I'm sorry, it's the same old speech. But yes, if you're in other sessions, be sure to check your email. And then our Go-To ATU app is going to be launching at the end of this week. So checking for that. And yeah, okay, that's.
Please check your email because I missed all of Monday.
Yes, I know, and I was in charge of that, and I was just like, so we were texting people and just trying to get them to come to the sessions, but yeah. Whew. Anyway, thank you guys for participating. I'll see you in some other sessions. So have a good rest of your week. Bye. Thank you, Mr. Mike.